minimal movement. In Tai Chi, less is always more. So as we do these movements today, I encourage you to do less and less with yourself. So lie on your backs and just have your legs be long, have your arms down at your sides, and you just pay attention to yourself lying on the floor, the way that your back, the back of yourself is making contact with the floor. Just notice, just notice. You notice how your back of your right leg touches the floor, your right heel, your right hip. You notice how the back of the left leg touches the floor, the left heel, the left hip. Just pay attention to that. Notice the back of your right shoulder on the floor, your right arm, your right hand. Notice the back of your left shoulder on the floor, your left arm, your left hand. Notice the way the back of your head touches the floor. Just notice the way that the back of your head touches the floor. And we pay attention to the back because that's where we have a lot of problems, in the stiffening, the hardening of the back, what I call the sclerosis of the back, which is the hardening of tissue, the spine. But just pay attention to your breathing. When you breathe in, you breathe out. Just notice how you breathe in, you breathe out. So please stand both of your feet on the floor about shoulder width apart. And this is called, today's lesson is minimal lifting. So rather than think of lifting, think of how little lifting you can do. Bring your right arm straight out to the right from your shoulder, back of the hand on the floor. So your right arm is out to the right, straight out. Slide your right arm right up on the floor, straight out to the right. And the back of your hand is on the floor, the back of the hand, the palm up toward the ceiling. And now do a very small movement, minimal lifting, the smallest movement you can do, of lifting your right arm away from the floor. Think of it as if there was a piece of paper under your arm. How much would you have to lift for someone to slide the paper out from under your arm? And pay attention to this. As you're doing the movement, make sure you're breathing. So allow yourself to breathe as you are lifting. Pay attention now. After you lift and let go, notice if you take a big breath. That means you're holding your breath. So before you lift the arm, begin to breathe in. And then when you start to lift, breathe out. And see if you can use your nose. And again, just lift the arm as if you were going to slide a piece of paper from under the arm. So you don't have to lift much, right? Very, very little. Very little. And feel what happens at the back of your shoulder. If you can start to feel even before, pay attention to this, even before you lift the arm, just before you lift the arm, if there's a shift of weight toward the right side, just notice that. If your weight doesn't shift a little toward the right side. Again, just enough to slip, a piece of paper is not very thick, so you don't have to lift much. Matter of fact, again, minimal lifting, the least amount you can lift and still feel something in your back, the better. So as you're lifting the right arm, which is out to the right, straight out from the shoulder, easy. And see if you can breathe out through your nose as you're lifting the arm. In a sense, you can just really lift the bone inside the arm, and the meat of the arm can almost stay on the floor. All right, take your time, do very small, minimal lifting. The right arm, very gently. Good. Now, let go of that And just lift as if there were a piece of paper under your right hand. Just lift the right hand. Just lift the right hand. Very small movement. Just the right hand. Let it come back to the floor. Very, very small. So somebody, you just take the weight out of your right hand. Somebody slides the piece of paper out and you bring the hand back down. Nice and easy. 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 Feel what that's like. Very soft, very easy. Just the right hand. Now notice when you lift the right hand, what happens to your right elbow? What happens to the back of your right shoulder? So now one more time, again, lift as if there were a piece of paper under your elbow. Lift the arm again, just small. And then let it go. Slide the right arm down to your side. And if you can, if it's easy for you, straighten your legs and rest. And feel what's different about your right arm, your right shoulder, right side of your back. Pay attention. The sense of the right side. What's different about your breathing? Stand both your feet, please. And slide the left arm out to the left, straight out from the shoulder, back of the hand on the floor, right? And do the same movement now, a very, very small movement of lifting the left arm from the floor as if somebody were going to slide a piece of paper that's between your elbow and your hand out. Just a small, tiny movement. As you're breathing, please pay attention to your breathing. As you're breathing. You might find the easiest way to do it is to breathe in before you move and then exhale as you're moving. And again, pay attention, even before you lift the arm. Notice if there's a shift of weight toward the left shoulder, toward the left hip, maybe, in other words, toward the left side of the back. Easy, easy, just easy. Minimal movement, smaller and smaller. Good. Now just lift the back of the left hand from the floor as if there were a piece of paper under that. Easy. And let someone slide the paper out. Just small, just easy. And again, can you feel the shoulder blade going back toward the floor? Can you feel your spine maybe going back? Even with this tiny little movement, can you feel maybe part of your spine going back toward the floor between the shoulders? Pay attention. And now imagine that piece of paper is under your elbow again, and lift the whole arm, just that tiny bit, to allow the paper to slide out, and then put the arm back down, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Easy, just a tiny bit. That's it. You might actually start to feel that when you put the arm back down, you start to feel the meat of the arm first, meaning the muscle around the arm goes down before the bone. It's a nice feeling. Easy. Good. And we'll let that go. Bring both your arms down, straighten your legs and rest, and just feel what's different about the sense of the length of your left arm. What's the sense of maybe difference in the back of both your shoulder blades on the floor? Pay attention to that. Something about both the shoulders feel a little closer to the floor. I mentioned the word sclerosis, meaning the hardening of the tissue. When the back gets stiff, a lot of the parts of the back don't go back into the floor. When your back starts to ease up, You start to feel parts of the back, the shoulder blade, the spine gets lower to the floor. That's an unstiffening, an unhardening, right? So please stand both your feet once again, easy. And now slide both the arms out to the sides, back of the hands on the floor. All right. And one time now alternate. One time very gently, just lift up the back of the right arm as if somebody was slipping a piece of paper out. Come back down. Some of you, your piece of paper is the size of a book or even bigger. Just a piece of paper. How much do you need to lift? Minimal. To get that piece of paper. You don't even have to take the whole arm up, right? Easy. Because the more you allow the movement to go into your back, your shoulder blade, your spine on the right, the more the flexibility of the spine starts to come back. Easy. Just easy, just easy. Now, do the same thing with the left arm. Just easy. And feel what's different from one arm to the other. Does one arm seem easier, lighter, freer? One arm that takes a little bit more work? And then alternate. One time, the right arm, let it come back down, rest for a beat. And then one time, the left arm, let it come back down, rest for a beat. Do not rush. You're not exercising. You're really paying attention to yourself in a different way. That's what's important. That's where the gains come from, especially dealing with rigidity in the spine. So take your time. Easy, soft, easy movements. And feeling the difference on one side behind one shoulder blade, comparing it to the other shoulder blade as you're lifting and putting it down. Just feeling the difference. One side might seem a little easier. Notice if where you do feel a little easier, keep moving nice and slow and easy with yourself. Where you do feel a little easier, if part of that isn't because the shoulder blade goes back on that side more. Easy. Meaning deeper into the floor underneath you. Easy. Good. Now, try this. Stop for a beat and lift both arms at the same time, very light, very easy, and feel where your shoulder blades go back. Just a small movement, both at the same time. And then let it come down. Straighten your legs and rest. Bring your arms down and rest and feel your upper back, your shoulder blades. The length of your arms might seem different to you. Does one arm seem longer than the other? One side of the back seem closer to the floor? Pay attention. What's different about your breathing right now? Does that seem easier, lighter? Stand both your feet, please. Leave the arms right where they are, at your side. Stand both your feet. And now do this movement, very small, very easy movement, right? Very small, very easy movement. Begin to lift the front of your right foot. Listen before you do it, from the floor, not tensing the toes, and just let the right heel go down into the floor a little bit. No, you don't have to lift the foot too high, but lift the front of the right foot from the floor, leaving the heel on the floor. Easy. And as you do that, feel what does your right hip do? Can you feel that the right hip gets a little lower to the floor? Take your time. As you lift the front of the right foot, does the right hip seem to get a little lower to the floor? Does the right side of your back seem to go down a little more? Maybe even some of you, you might feel your right shoulder goes back a little. The shoulder blade, not the top of the arm, but the scapula up in the upper back on the right side. Just easy, lifting the right heel, easy. And again, make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath during the movement. And then put the foot down easy. Don't drop the foot, let it come back easy. So again, we're talking about minimal lifting. So once again now, just lift the front of the foot enough to slide out a piece of paper that your foot is resting on. Not at the heel, just in the front of the foot, toward the back of the foot, but not on the heel. You just slide that piece of paper out. How little do you need to lift the foot? Really take your time. And at the same time, as you let that little piece of paper slide out, what happens? You can still feel your hip going back, maybe. Your right shoulder goes back, maybe. Take your time. Minimal lifting. Easy, easy. Less is more. Good. Take your time. Once again, slide your right arm up out to the right and lift the back of the hand on the floor. And once again, lift the front of the right foot and feel what happens at the back of your right shoulder blade. Can you feel the upper back there presses back just slightly? You don't have to don't add anything. Don't make it more than it is. Just feel if it starts, we want things to happen organically, meaning not you making it happen, that your body responds. As you lift the front of the foot now, begin to do a small movement again, of lifting your right arm, and see if that's a little different than it was before. As you lift the front of the foot, lift the right arm, easy. Did something get maybe easier? Did the arm get lighter in some way? Don't hold it, lift it and bring it back. Please don't hold. Holding is holding. Holding is, again, a form of sclerotic rigidity. You don't want to be holding. Up, it's a movement. You lift and you put it down. As you're lifting the foot, don't worry about, oh, I don't feel that. Just ask the question. By the end of the lesson, you will get answers. But right now, you don't need to make yourself have answers. Just do what I'm asking you to do. Lift the front of the foot, lift the arm a little, and let everything come back to the floor at the same time so that you start to coordinate the movement. That you start to coordinate the movement at the same time. Everything comes back at the same time. You start to coordinate the movement. Easy, easy. Notice, does the arm come back first or the foot? Make the timing clearer. And if you lift one too high, you're gonna run into problems. So don't lift the arm so high. Let the arm, the hand, the foot come back at the same time. See if you can find that. Good. Good. Let's let go of that. Slide your arm down, slide your legs down, and rest. And in resting, what seems different about your right leg, your right hip, your right side of your back, your right arm? What side seems closer to the floor? Notice that. Notice if you seem more at ease, more relaxed in your breathing right now. Minimal lifting. Please stand both your feet. Bring the left arm out to the left. Just don't do anything with the arm, just leave it out to the left for now, and begin to lift the front, very small movement, the front of the left foot from the floor, feeling the left heel go down into the floor a little more. But notice, more importantly than that, what happens at your left hip. Maybe something happens at the back of your left shoulder. So to lift something up in minimal lifting, something needs to go back, especially in your back. In this work, we call it get back your back. Once we start to rigidify the back, then it doesn't go back. So take your time. As you're lifting the front of the foot, feel if your left shoulder goes back a little. Just notice. Take your time. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Please try not to go ahead. Stay with yourself. Now, as you're lifting the front of the left foot, begin to do a small movement of lifting the left arm from the floor and coordinate that they come back almost together. Take your time. Go really slow here. Coordinate that they come back together. Go easy. Go slow. Right? The timing. In life, even when we don't notice how difficult things might be, and we start to feel differently, but we don't really start to notice something in terms of how much work we're doing until we get uncoordinated. Then we start to notice, but we still don't think a bit about it as work. We think about it as, oh, I'm losing my balance, oh, I'm stiffening up, oh, I'm not coordinated. But coordination is just telling you that you're getting rigid in some place. That's why coordination is very important. Easy. So coordinate the lifting of the arm and the lifting of the front of the foot, putting it back. Easy. Good. Easy. Yes, easy. And notice when you lift the front of the foot, can you feel, and you lift the arm, can you feel your left shoulder blade, meaning the upper back, going back into the floor a little? Can you feel the left side of your back going back into the floor a little? Just easy. Just easy. Your back needs to go back small. The arm is 1/20th of the weight of your torso. So in that respect, you only need to be moving in your back 1/20th of the movement that you're doing with your arm. So it's not a big movement in the back. These are the biggest, strongest muscles in the body. Easy. Good. And we'll let that go. Bring the arm down, straighten your legs, and pay attention to what seems different about the left arm, the left leg, left side of your back. What feels different about a part, maybe your spine in the middle of your upper back is getting lower to the floor. For some of you, it might be throughout the whole spine. The lower back, your hips might feel lower to the floor. Easy. Yes, yes. Good. So bring both of your feet to standing. Bring both of your arms out to the side. Now, remember at the beginning I asked you to lift both of your arms? Remember that? Don't do that, but just do this now. Lift both of your heels from the floor. Lift both of the front of your feet from the floor at the same time. Feel, when you lift both feet in the front at the same time, feel what happens at your shoulder blades. Can you feel how your shoulder blades get pushed back a little? Notice that. When you lift the front of both feet, notice how your shoulder blades get pushed back a little, right? So now lift both feet and at the same time lift both your arms. Notice if your arms didn't get easier. Let everything come back together, right? Feel that. Did your arms get easier? So if you know how to use your hips and your back, you can lift both your arms and your legs too, easier. Just right now the arms, right? Good. Okay. Let that go, straighten your legs and rest. And just pay attention to what you feel lying on the floor. The length of your arms, your back on the floor, small of your back, your hips. The length of your legs might seem different. We did no stretching, right? Notice if you feel longer. Good movement lengthens us. Please stand your right foot and bring your right arm straight in front of you, right up above you toward the ceiling. So right over your shoulder blade, bring your right arm straight up to the ceiling and relax your hand. Let your wrist be a little easy. That's right. Now, in that position, take your time. Begin to lengthen the right arm up toward the ceiling. Think of minimal movement, just so that your shoulder blade comes off the floor a little, and then you come back very gently. See if you can relax your hands. Let the hand be relaxed, the right hand, the wrist be relaxed, the fingers, and you just lift the back of the shoulder, minimal lifting, and then you come back. Nice and easy. All right? Just easy. Small movement. You lift the shoulder and come back. Easy. Just easy. Small movement. You lift the shoulder and come back. Just easy. Just easy. You lift the shoulder and come back. Feel the shoulder blade come off the floor. Feel the shoulder blade come back down, right? Easy. Easy. Now, a couple of times do this. Take the shoulder blade off the floor, leaving the arm long and straight. Just let the shoulder blade drop back. Boom. Yes, and then do that again. Just lift the whole arm, the shoulder blade, and then just let the shoulder blade drop back to the floor. Boom. Let it go, right? You lift the shoulder blade and then just let it go. Boom. Just let it go. Boom. And you feel the arm stays, the shoulder blade just drops back onto the floor. Right. One more time. Ready? One more time. One more time. Boom. Just let it drop. Boom. And now, once again, very small, very easy. Lift the shoulder blade and let it come back to the floor. And lengthen the arm. Just easy. Just easy. Good. Let that go. Bring your arms down, straighten your legs, and rest. What's different about your right shoulder, your right arm? Upper right side of your back, can you feel the shoulder lower to the floor? Arm longer? What's different about your breathing? Minimal lifting, minimal. Once again, please bring your right foot to standing and your right arm up toward the ceiling. Relax the hand. Now, don't do anything with the arm. Do this movement, a very small movement. Lift your right hip a little from the floor and let it come back easy. So just lift the right hip up and bring it back down. So you press your right foot into the floor a little, your knee stays right over, and just lift your right hip and let it come back. Easy. Just lift your right hip and let it come back. Just a small movement. Feel the right hip come a little up and then bring it back to the floor. Just easy. Easy. Not the arm, just the hip. Don't lift the arm, just the hip. You might feel the arm wants to go up. That's fine. Just the hip. Easy. Just the hip and come back. Nice and easy. Small, minimal movement, right? Just the hip and come back. Right hip. Good. Just the hip and come back. Just the hip. Right hip. As if there were a piece of paper under your hip and you lift it just enough to slide the paper out. That's all. That's all. Nice and easy. Slide the paper out. Good. There you go. Just slide the paper out. Just lifting the right hip and you slide the paper out. Easy. Easy. Now, do the same thing you did with the arm. Lift the hip, hold it up, and then just drop it back. Small movement. Lift the hip, hold it up, and then drop it back. Boom. That's right. Lift the hip, hold it up, and then drop it back. Boom. That's it. Lift the hip, hold it up. Boom. Nice and easy. Doesn't have to go high. Not high is even better. Lift it and just let it go. Right. And you just let it go. Good. Bring everything down and you rest again. Straighten your leg. Feel what's different now on your right side. Can you feel, you might feel slanted, as if you were slanted over to the right, because the right side of your back, the right side of your spine is so much more at ease and relaxed than the left side. Pay attention to that phenomenon if you're experiencing that. Just notice that. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe it just feels longer and at ease. Whatever your experience is, it's fine. Doesn't have to be anything more. So once again, stand your right foot, please. Bring your right arm up to the ceiling, easy. And now combine. Lift the right hip and lengthen the right arm at the same time. See if you can keep your right hand relaxed so that it's not the fingers aren't pointing. Lift the right hip and the right shoulder blade at the same time from the floor. Lift them at the same time. The right hip, the right shoulder blade, same time. That's it, easy. And you start to feel when you do this, the weight shifts where? To the left side of your back, right? So the weight shifts to the left hip, the left shoulder, as if you were rotating. Don't drop, just lift and come back. Don't drop, don't drop, don't drop. Easy, just come back easy. Just come back easy, easy. Now, lift the right hip and the right shoulder and stay there. And now, let everything drop back. Boom, the hip and then do it again. Very soft, very easy. Lift the right hip, right shoulder, boom, let it go. That's it, there you go. Very nice, very nice. Take your time, take your time. Minimal lifting. You don't have to lift a lot. Just, it's a sense of letting go that's important, right? Easy, easy, easy. Easy. Good. Let it go. Bring everything down and rest. And now feel what's different on your right side. Sense of length, closeness to the floor. Pay attention. You might have this phenomenon. As you breathe, does it seem like you're only breathing more to one side than the other? Pay attention. Does it seem like the breath is going more to one side? As the chi gets more and more smooth, the blood gets smoother, the blood receives the oxygen easier. So in Tai Chi we have a saying, Qi smooths out the blood, right? Well, feel that on your right side. You know. Stand your left foot, please. Bring your left arm up to the ceiling, nice and easy. Relax the hand. Let the fingers be easy, right? And begin to do a small movement, just lifting and straightening the left arm up toward the ceiling. Easy, just small. So you feel the left shoulder blade come off the floor. And then come back easy. Don't drop. Easy. Just do a movement now. Lift it and come back. Just easy. And then you feel the upper back come off the floor enough, at least enough to pull a piece of paper out from behind your upper back. Just easy. Just easy. You're doing wonderful. Just staying with yourself, minimal lifting, great. Easy, easy. Easy. And make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're breathing, not holding the breath. So as you lift the arm, you could breathe out, and as you bring it back down, you could breathe in, maybe, using your nose, right? Or you could do the opposite. You could breathe in as you lift and breathe out as it comes back, as long as you're breathing, not holding. So now, lift the arm and hold it up for a beat, and now just let it come, drop it back to the floor, the shoulder, boom. Keep the arm straight, yeah. Just drop the shoulder back to the floor, boom. And some of you might feel this side's easier, not as easy, but take your time. We all have an easier side, so go slow, go easy. That's easy. Good. And now go back to lifting the arm and bringing it back slowly. And just feel what that's like. More control, more at ease. And then bring the arm down, straighten your left leg, and rest. Just get a feeling for how your left shoulder blade, your left arm makes contact with the floor. Left side of your back might seem different. The left hip, maybe left leg even, some of you. Your nervous system innervates the whole hemisphere, meaning the whole side of the brain, the whole side of a body when you work in this way. So the whole left side could be affected by the movement. What's different about your breathing? So please stand your left foot, bring your left arm up to the ceiling again, easy. Leaving the left arm just up there like that, begin to do a small movement, just lifting the left hip from the floor. You press your left foot into the floor, just a little, you lift the left hip and just feel what that's like. And just to slide a piece of paper out from underneath the left hip, let's say, minimal, you don't have to move a lot, you don't have to lift a lot. It's more important that you pay attention to the smoothness, the ease. Smooth movement creates a smooth nervous system, a smooth emotional reaction, smooth chi. Easy, easy. Just lifting the hip and coming back small, just easy. Left hip, easy. Pay attention to creating the reality of lifting it and letting a piece of paper slide out and then letting the hip come back. Not the way we think, not the way we move, but certainly can change the way we think and move. Easy. So now, lift the hip and drop it back. Just the left hip, not the arm, just the left hip. Lift it and drop it back. Boom. And pay attention, is it as easy as it was on the right or not as easy? It's never the same if you pay attention. One side's easier. No, take your time. You lift the left hip and you let it, does it fall back in the same way as the right or not as well? You don't have to correct it, you don't have to make them the same, you just have to recognize the difference. That starts what we call healing through awareness, so take your time. Easy. Good. So now, lift the hip and put it back slowly, as if you were stepping with your hip on the floor. Just let it come back as if you were putting your foot down, nice and easy on the floor. Very soft, very easy. That's all. Good. Please let that go. Straighten your leg. Bring your arms down. Feel your back on the floor, your back of your shoulders, back of your hips, back of your head. Notice your breathing. What seems different about lying on the floor? The smaller you work, the easier you work, the more you're nervous, the quieter your nervous system gets, the quieter your emotional responses become, the smoother the chi runs through the body. Stand your left foot, bring your left arm up to the ceiling, and begin to lift both the left hip and lengthen the left arm at the same time, and then let them both come back to the floor at the same time, nice and easy. Lifting the left hip, don't drop, let them come back. See if you can put the hip and the shoulder back on the floor smoothly and easily. All right, that's it, smoothly and easily, take your time. Smoothly and easily. Now, lift the hip and the shoulder, leave it up in the air, and then now drop. Boom, let them both come down. Boom. Boom. That's it. There you go. Boom. And again, can you remember what it was like on the right side? Does this seem the same, as easy, not as easy? If you really pay attention, it's never the same, so take your time. Easy, yeah, boom, just dropping it, boom. Good. And then once again, go back and lift and let it come back naturally without dropping. Go lift and put it back on the floor. With control, ease, good. Let it go, straighten the leg, bring the arms down, rest again. Great. Feel now both the shoulders, the length of the arms, the back of the hips, both the legs. Again, that feeling of being longer, easier on the floor, sense of your breathing. Stand your right foot, bring your right arm up toward the ceiling, please. Now, take your time with this. Lift your right hip and your right arm from the floor. Stay up in the air for a beat. And now you got to go slow. Bring the right shoulder down, not the hip. Just bring the right shoulder down. And now bring the right shoulder up and the hip down. As you bring the right shoulder up, bring the hip down. All right? So you're coordinating. As you lift the right shoulder, the hip comes down. As you lift the hip, the right shoulder comes down. Easy. Not only one, either the hip or the shoulder is on the floor. They're both not on the floor at the same time. So you lift the right shoulder and the right hip. Let the right hip come back. Leave the shoulder down. Leave the shoulder up in the air as the hip comes back. And then as the hip comes up, bring the shoulder back. And then as the shoulder comes up, bring the hip back. Coordinate the movement. Coordinate the movement. So the hip is coming up, the shoulder's going down. The shoulder's going up, the hip is going down, right? That's it. Nice and easy. Coordinate the movement. Very fine, easy. Very complex movement here. Take your time. This is Tai Chi. This is Tai Chi press, but lying on your back. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Easy. Easy. Lifting. Now, lift both together, the hip and the arm, and let both come back together and see what's different for you. Boom. Easy. Good. Straighten your legs and rest. Bring your arms down. Feel your right side. So we keep creating more and more different variations as we go along to bring more and more flexibility, not just to the movement in your back, but to your brain also. The adaptability of the brain through movement, right? And we have different results. Feel how your right side lies on the floor now. Your right arm, your right shoulder, your right hip, right leg, right side of your back. Your whole spine might feel differently. Stand both your feet. Bring your, stand both your feet. Stand just your left foot. Stand your left foot. Bring your right arm up to the left arm up to the ceiling. The left arm. Now, lift your left hip from the floor. Leave your right arm down. Lift your left hip. Now, as you bring the left hip back, bring the right arm up. And now, as you bring the right arm down, bring the left hip up. At the same time, as you bring the left hip up, the left arm, come on. As you bring, it's on the same side. As you come back, everybody to the middle with your arm there and your hip. Lift your left hip from the floor. Lift your left hip. Left hip. As the hip goes down, lift your right arm. As the hip goes up, bring the arm down. So alternate that. The hip is going up, the arm is going down. The arm is going up, the hip is going down. Get it? Easy. Easy. They're moving, the hip and the shoulder are moving in different directions, right? Easy. Easy. Not a big movement, minimal. No, the arm doesn't need to collapse. Your arm doesn't collapse or fall. This is really about coordination, the hip and the shoulder. Really about coordination. Notice if it's difficult on this side, more difficult than it was on the other side, a little easier. What's your experience on the left? Right, easy, easy, good, easy. Now, lift the hip and the shoulder at the same time. Let everything come back to the floor at the same time. Everything come back at the same time. Feel what that's like now. Did something improve in that movement? Good. Bring everything down. Straighten your arm, bring your legs down and rest again. Notice how your back makes contact with the floor, how you're lying on the floor, the length of your legs, your arms, your shoulder blades, all right, upper back. Okay, stand both your feet and bring both of your arms up toward the ceiling, relaxing, right? Easy. And now one time, listen, lift your right hip and your right arm at the same time. Your right hip, and then come back, and then lift your left hip and your left arm at the same time, and then come back. And you start to feel now, as you do this, you roll a little, rotate from side to side, easy, easy, and your spine starts to get longer. And the hip that you're lifting and the arm that you're lifting, the foot on that side presses into the floor a little. That pushes up through your spine. Easy. That's it. Easy. Easy. Now do it smoother and lighter. Bump, bump, back and forth. Bump, bump. Smoother, continuous. Bump, bump. That's it. Bump, bump. Come on. Bump, bump. Push with the foot on the side you're lifting. Bump, bump. And the push will go right up through your spine. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, 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 bump. Take your arms down, stop, take your arms down and hug yourself. Put one arm on one side, another arm on the other side. Now, take your time here. Lift your right hip and lift your lift your right shoulder now. Do it. Lift your right hip and your right shoulder. And you roll to the side. Use the arm to lift the shoulder. And now lift your left hip and you start to roll from side. Let your back roll. Let your head roll. Bump, 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 bump. There you go. Bump, 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 bump. Back and forth. Make it continuous. Bump, 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 bump. You're going to start to go up the floor because your spine starts to lengthen. Bump, bump. If your feet get further away from you, pull them toward yourself. Bump, 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 bump. That's it. Bump, bump. Make it continuous. Make it continuous. Smooth, continuous, rolling back and forth from one side to the other. Let your head roll. Yeah, good. Let it go. Bring your arms down. Straighten your legs. What's different about how you lie on the floor now? What's different about the length of the legs, the length of your arms, the length of your spine on the floor? Come up, if it's too uncomfortable, you just come up to standing with yourself. If you get a cramp, just come up to standing, yeah. So nice and easy, lift both your feet from the floor. Notice your breathing, stand your feet, notice your breathing. You're gonna roll to a side with yourself and come up to sitting. Go slow, go easy. Come up to sitting, roll to a side. And then when you're ready, we'll come up to standing, nice and easy, easy. We'll come up to standing, take your time. And you'll face your screen here. Try not to stretch, try not to do anything like that. You're just trying to go back to your old way. Just let yourself be long. Feel what's different in your arms, the back of your legs. And very gently, just do a small movement of shifting your weight to your right foot and come back, nice and easy. Just shift your weight to your right foot and come back, nice and easy. Small movement. One shift to the weight. Now go back to the right heel as you do that. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Let's go back to the right heel and then come back to the middle. So you want to shift the weight mainly toward the right heel. So you want to balance on your right heel. And you want to feel the right side of your back, your right hip, and your right shoulder blade goes back when you do that. If you pay attention, if you shift the weight to your right heel, you're going to go back into your right hip and your right shoulder blade. So you start to balance on your right hip, your right shoulder blade over the right heel. That's what good balance is. You balance over the heel. Easy. Good. Just to the right. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Stop. Come back to the middle. Come back to the middle. Shift the weight to your left heel. Back on the left heel, and feel to do that without falling backwards. Your weight's going to go into your left hip and your left shoulder blade. Then come back to the middle. Easy, easy, easy. Just to the heel. Easy. Come back and stop. Come back and stop. Don't just keep moving. And now go back to the heel again. Good. Now put your right heel a little bit in front, your right foot a little in front of the left. As if you were taking a step, not a big step, very small. Put your right hand in front of you, your elbow relaxed. Not straight, relax the elbow's a little bent. And now inhale and go over to your right heel, rotate on your right heel, exhale, come back. Easy, just a small movement. Inhale, shift your weight over to your right heel, exhale, come back. Easy, easy. Inhale, shift your weight over to your right heel, exhale, come back. Just easy. Inhale, if you find the right heel, you're going to feel your right hip and your right shoulder actually goes back a little as the arm goes forward. Take your time, take your time. Because good balance demands that if the arm goes a little forward, your back needs to go back a little. Come back, easy. One more. Slow down, slow down. Inhale, exhale, come back. Bring the foot back. Just let the right arm hang and feel what's different in your right arm. What's different in the right side of your back. What arm feels longer? What side of your chest feels lower? That's good chi. That's the fascia responding to the chi on the right side. Left foot a little in front, left hand up. Again, inhale, relax your tummy. Find the left heel. Rotate on the left heel a little. Exhale, come back to the middle with yourself. Inhale, go over to the left foot on the left heel. Exhale, come back. And as you do that, feel the back of your left hip. As you go over to the left heel, your left hip's going back a little. Feel that. Feel that. As you find the left heel, the left hip goes back a little. And the left shoulder blade, not the top of the arm, the shoulder blade at the upper part of the back, the scapula, actually goes back a little. Because the left hip and your scapula are lining up with your left heel to create balance in the big, strong muscles in the back. Easy, easy. Inhale, exhale, come back. Once again, inhale, exhale, come back. Easy. Slow down, slow down. Inhale, Tai Chi press. Exhale, come back, easy. Bring your arm down, put both of your feet under you. Feel your heels on the floor. Feel the length of your arms now. If you're standing upright, better, easier. Take a little walk around the room and come back. Feel what that's like. Just feel yourself walk. What feels different? Minimal lifting, maximum results. Minimal lifting brings, especially if you learn how to minimally lift with your back, it will get maximum results in your flexion. We use the body in such a way that we overflex in the front and the back gets tighter and tighter. And then we try to rectify that by stretching the muscles of the back. It doesn't work because in behavior, you're going to rigidify. Come back, and you guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. I will see you. I will talk to you.
Thank
Great.
you. Thanks, Larry.
Very nice. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Larry. Good job.
Enjoy.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day. I'll see you Tuesday.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I hate to go, but I got to.
No.
Bye. Oh, don't start crying now. Come on. Okay, guys. Ah.